Oh, man. As my son would say, dang, that's cool. What a special evening this is. So honored to be a part of this 2019 NASCAR Hall of Fame class with Roger, Jack, Davey, and Alan, and also my longtime hero, Rick Mears, is in the house. Glad to see him here. That means a lot to me. But also by being surrounded by friends, family, fans. Thank you for being here. And so many people that have worked very hard behind the scenes for me over the years to make this possible. Thank you, thank you. Now, I was told I had about 8 minutes or so to give this speech. I'm not exactly sure if this is going to go 6, 12, not really sure, but honestly, there's really no amount of time that would be enough to thank everyone who's helped me get here to this stage tonight. But timing is exactly what did get me here tonight. It all started very early on when my mom met and married my stepdad, John Bickford, which led to my very first racing experience at the age of 5. Countless weekends racing across the country for many years ultimately led us to Indiana. Yeah, Indiana. And timing couldn't have been better when I was introduced and hired by a guy named Raleigh Helmling to drive his USAC midget in 1989. Just 18, I was able to make a name for myself on the live ESPN races known as Saturday Night Thunder. The very next year, I met a guy named Hugh Connerty, of all places, at the Buck Baker Driving School. Now, for some wild reason, and I'm not really sure, but I had heard later, and actually recently, that Benny Parsons and Leo Jackson talked him into doing it. So thank you to them. And Hugh asked me to drive his car in 3 Busch Grand National races that season. Now, he scraped together a team, and of all people, Ray Evernham happened to be the crew chief who was hired. Now, that's timing. Or, I don't know, just absolute sheer luck, I guess. But something obviously went right in those 3 races, because shortly after that, my phone rang, and it was Lee Morse from Ford asking if I was interested in driving and testing for Bill Davis. Now, Bill, I'm not exactly sure if you're watching, and probably not, but I know you're still upset with me on how I handled the split, and rightfully so. But I will always be thankful of the time that I spent behind the wheel of the Baby Ruth Ford and how important that role was in my NASCAR career. I am proud to say that I've got Keith Simmons here tonight, who is a big part of that team. Keith, you're over here. Thank you for being here. Another perfectly timed moment was in Atlanta, March 1992, when I was racing for Bill, and Rick Hendrick just happened to be watching, as you heard in the video, me slide that car through the corners, just waiting for me to wreck. Well, fortunately, I never did, and actually went on to win that race. And afterwards, a good friend, Andy Graves, who was working at Hendrick Motorsports at the time and was my roommate, told me that Rick wanted to meet with me. So there it was, all the hard work, seizing the moment as often as I possibly could in every good car I had a chance to drive, introducing myself to anyone I could, hoping and wishing that the right person or car owner saw enough in me to take a chance. Well, we all know who that was, Rick Hendrick. Now, he not only took a chance on me, he took a good chance on my good friend Ray Evernham also, and believed in us enough to build a team from scratch to join his already 2-car operation with teammates Ricky Rudd and Ken Schrader. And I'm sorry, there's no way I have enough time to explain all the stories and things that went along with being teammates with Ken Schrader here tonight. That's for another show. But there's nothing that compares to winning the first of anything in racing. And it's even harder to do it for a guy like Rick Hendrick, with the amount of success that he's had. And even though we accomplished a lot, what I am most proud of in my career is being forever connected to Rick, Ray, and everyone on that 24 team in 1995 when we went out and won our first NASCAR Cup championship together. I'm so fortunate to have driven the best cars by the best people and owned by the best owner in NASCAR. All the men and women who've sacrificed their time, their families, to create the opportunity to succeed and still continue to do that today. I thank all of you. Now, I've had some great sponsors over the years, and of course, we all know we can't do it without the sponsors. But there's one company that has been there for me since day one, and that relationship still continues strong today. A huge thanks to Exalta, and I know some of those folks are here, so thank you very much. Also, all 4 of those championships that I won and each of the 93 wins were behind the wheel of a Chevrolet. So thank you to Chevy. Now, Ray, buddy, you made me believe more than any other person that I've ever worked with that I could do anything behind the wheel of a race car. And after all that we've been through, and as proud as I am of what we accomplished on the track, buddy, I'm even more proud today of the friendship that we have off the track. And Rick, there's no way to describe it any other way other than you're a great man. You've been far more than just a team owner to me. You've constantly set the bar to make everyone around you want to be a better person at their job, a better person in every walk of life, and that includes me. So I will forever be grateful for your friendship, your mentoring, including all those great one-liners and quotes that you have. I want that book, by the way, one day. You write those down. They're so good. And the faith that you put in me as your driver and with our partnership that still happens today. All the crew chief I worked with are actually here tonight. I love it. Brian Weitzel, Steve Letarte are here. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. I worked with some great ones. Robbie Loomis of all, Zoom is in the house. We won our 2001 championship together, and it's something, buddy, I'll never forget. Alan Gustafson, it was such a great pleasure to finish out my career with you. I'm sorry I didn't get you a championship, but I know it is coming very soon for you, my friend. And to every single individual that played a role in the number 24 team's success, thank you for giving a Hall of Fame worthy effort week in and week out. To my mom and my stepdad, John, you sacrificed everything for me for racing. I could never thank you enough for the love and support that you have given me. And actually, I share this stage with you. Ingrid, Ella, Leo. Yeah, I've realized that raising a family is very similar to racing, because some days you're just hanging the back end out, holding on tight, just hoping a caution falls any second. And then there's other days where you're pulling into victory lane, celebrating as proud as you can be. So I am so thankful and lucky to have the love of my life and 2 amazing kids by my side every morning when we start our engines and every night when we throw that checkered flag. All those fans that are back there, thank you, thank you, thank you. And all the ones that aren't here, yes. I know you know this, but I'm going to say it anyway. You're the heartbeat that makes racing the great sport that it is. And yes, you are, and you have made being a race car driver an absolute dream come true. I'm also excited that even though I'm not behind the wheel anymore, I get to be a fan just like you each time I'm in the booth with Larry, with DW, with Mike up there in the Fox Sports booth. I love what I'm doing right now. You know, it's just not possible for me to put into words or express how much NASCAR has meant to me. But I found this clip from 1990, when I was just turning 19, that I think may describe it best.
Let me ask you one more quick one. Reporters always ask aging celebrities how they want to be remembered, and then it's too late for them to do anything about it. You're 19, you got your whole racing life in front of you. How would you like to be remembered?
Well, hopefully down the road, you know, that I can be a top Winston Cup driver. You know, I want to be up there with Dale Earnhardt, Kenny Schrader, Darrell Waltrip. You know, I would like to be one of them. That's my ultimate goal. And, you know, sure, it's great to be the young kid when he was coming up, but, you know, pretty soon I'm going to get older and they're not going to be able to call me that, so I got to do something.
Thank you.